count on. I can see it's hurting you. I can feel your pain. It's hard to see the sunshine through the.
We long here, and your name is?
My name is George F. Grundy II.
You my friend on Facebook. I know who you are now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, it's small world.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, wow. Well, last year we was here as Black Lives Matter. We brought 2 truckloads of water
Okay.
here to Flint, Michigan. And George, can you tell me a little bit about your program and what you do here?
Well, what I have is a nonprofit. It's a 501c19, and it's called Veterans of Now. The emphasis on the now because of the services and the things that are needed for veterans that go through transitioning. I want to concentrate more on the transitioning part because if you're take NASCAR, if you've been driving 500 laps at 200 miles per hour all day long, when you get off the track, the last thing you need to do is drive a car. So the transition from what you've done in your job to what you need to do as a civilian has to be considered. So as a veteran, my job and every veteran's job, first and foremost, is every person is a rifleman. Every person is trained to be able to defend and kill, and to have a heightened sense of surrounding. If you get off of that job and you don't digress or you have a decompression from that, then it may be difficult for you to transition into regular civilian life because most people aren't thinking in that capacity. So that's why we have a lot of homeless veterans. That's why we have a lot of anxiety issues when it comes to veterans and what goes on. And my thing is to try to bridge that gap that is obviously missing, and it became very obvious when after World War One and we had the tent cities, and then it progressed onward to Vietnam to where people, obviously between civilians and infantry or soldiers or servicemen, where there was a disconnect between what civilians thought and what service members were doing. They're just doing a job. They don't know what the politics is behind all this stuff. We're just doing a job.
That's the
So
real
why
life.
blame me and spit on me for a job I'm doing? And then that creates tension and different things in our society, and people not to understand what people actually sacrifice, especially in that time period where they were drafted, versus now when we volunteer and we have a sense of
So what's the main
pride.
goal of your
Transitioning for veterans. I apologize.
transition and
Transitioning and mostly transitional housing. So what I'm doing right now, I'm working at bringing 500 units completely to Flint, Michigan for veterans, for transitioning for veterans.
okay.
500 units as in housing?
As in like facilities, so totaling up to 500. So the first initial push is hopefully 100 to 250 units. There's 14 acres that I have access to and have agreements with, and I've had Congressman Kildee here speaking on that issue. Talked to Lieutenant Governor Calley about it. I had senators here before, former Senator Hardiman, and others that have influence to be able to get letters of support and also means to be able to get this done.
So what about your local politicians? Are they helping, like such as the mayors, the congressmen?
Well, I haven't had those
the
conversations
council members?
with the mayor or the city council as of yet. My viewpoint of it is that I don't believe in trickle down economics, but I do believe in trickle down politics. Because if you go to somebody that outranks somebody else, then why should you say no to me?
You'd be surprised.
I didn't say you couldn't. I didn't say you couldn't, but why should you? So you have to come up with a heck of a reason why you don't believe or support something that somebody congressionally is supporting.
I understand that, but politics is a dirty game. But we're not here on the politician side. I want to talk to you more about last year. The chapter of Lake County Black Lives Matter came down with 2 truckloads, along with violence interrupters, came down with 2 truckloads of water because of the water situation here. Can you give me a short synopsis of what the water situation has been from last year to the day.
Drippy faucet, not much in the sink. You know, it's nothing really in my perspective or the vantage point that I have. Nothing's really been done significantly.
Okay, the media is saying, is putting it out that everything here in Flint is all good now. That the houses got new pipes and the water is coming out and everybody's okay.
What houses? I think at most it may be 1,200 houses at most, depending on what you listen to. You hear 600, you hear 2,500, but I believe the number is closer to about 1,200, in between 6 to 1,200. And there's over 30,000 homes that need to have their pipes at least looked at or replaced. So when you say that things are okay, and then like there was somebody said, I heard somebody say that, you know, drinking water with the filter is like, you know, having cancer in remission. You know, you still have it, it's still there, but if you take the filter off, then you're you're drinking straight poison, period, still. So if a child can't drink it, if a pregnant woman can't drink it, if the elderly can't drink it, why should anybody drink it?
Are they
Even with the
showering
filter.
in it?
We're doing everything in it. We got to live. We have to survive. So everything is being done in this water, because what other choice do you have? You know, the bottled water, yes, we do so much with it, but some people have gotten to the point where I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to use it. And a lot of the youth are saying that, because what else do they have on them? They got all these different statistics that are on them, all these different issues as young adults that they have on them. So they don't care no way.
Last year when we was here, I met people that refused to even shower in the water and had not had a shower in almost a year. They was using baby wipes to wash up. Is that still a situation?
People have, it's like being in the military and being out in the field. You're going to do what you need to do while you're out in the field. It doesn't change. It's a regimen. It's a certain set of things that you're going to do. It becomes a lifestyle.
Now we had all these professionals. I remember Snoop Dogg was here, Hillary Clinton was here, name it. Everybody done been here. I was here when Rachel Maddow was here. I came with 2 trucks of water, but she came with big gallons of water. And why isn't it? And I was on the Steve Harvey show with the residents here. And Steve Harvey at the time made a statement that he was telling people to leave. But people just can't give up their property, their investment, and just leave.
I'm going to say this about that. Flint, Michigan is the reason why any minority person can live anywhere they want to in this country. Where Steve Harvey's living, where he's living. If you check our history and you look at the sit-down that changed federal law, then he would stop saying that ignorant junk he said. Because this is the reason why any person of color, whether you're Asian, Arabic, black, whatever minority group you are, Flint, Michigan is the reason why you're living where you're living. So move from here, from the Plymouth Rock, from the place that created the opportunity for you to be able to be who you are. You need to check your history. Flint, Michigan is the reason why anybody's driving a car. Period. Technology came from here. Ford didn't do nothing but mass production. This is the Silicon Valley of the industrial age. The war efforts that happened in World War II, where did they go to get their tanks, to go to get all of their stuff tooled up? Flint, Michigan.
Okay, Flint, Michigan.
If you remember the 80s, when people were striking all over the globe, who did they call? What locals did they call in the unions? They called the local 5-something from Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan is the pinnacle of the middle class. So goes Flint, so goes everything else, because there's no union, there's no connectivity. Look at Flint. Flint goes, Detroit goes. What is Detroit? The largest minority groups in the country, whether you're Asian, Arabic, or the largest concentrated minority groups in the country were in Detroit. We have the largest Arabic population in the country, in Michigan, in the Detroit area. We had the largest population of blacks in Detroit, over 1 million black people in one area, so on and so forth. all this economic change, all these middle class jobs, all these different education platforms that we built, you get rid of that, then the system can reset itself and do what it needs to do to feed the system, not the people. So to say or make statements, being a person of influence and somewhat education, and you put out things like that and you tell people just throw away your history, you might as well tell your great 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 grandfather that was trying not to be submissive to indignities to just give up and just do what they say.
Well, I agree with you 110% because I know when you invest in property and you bought your home, that's like a trophy. That's yours. And to just give up. But as I drive through Flint, which I've done today since we got here, we've been to a couple of homes, and every other home is boarded up. Why did a lot of people just give up and just leave, or?
From my viewpoint, it's still, you still use that system. You know, it's a term you can look it up in the dictionary. It's called white flight. So when you have that happen in a situation like a Flint area or in Michigan itself, and have these things that are at stake, everything has a shelf life. When you look at business, America's a corporation. So what does that mean? That means that it goes off a system and a cycle. There's a shelf life to everything. So when you have something that you need to reset, then you create a system to break it down. So what happened is we had one circus clown. That was the General Motors ideal. That left, everything else leaves. Because now you don't have that same power, the same infrastructure, that same economic pool.
Well, what about the University of Michigan?
That's an endowment. Only so many, only a certain percentage of people are going to go to college.
But okay, this is a rumor, and you tell me have you heard it or is it true that the reason why the water system has not been completely fixed because University of Michigan wants to get the land out of the people to rebuild on it. Is that?
I can't say just a name like that because that, that's pinpointing something, and I don't know that. But I'm saying gentrification is happening.
Have you heard it?
Gentrification.
Have you heard it?
I'm putting it like this: gentrification is happening. To me, this is the fourth Reich. We had the third Reich. That was Germany and the Nazis. This is the fourth Reich. So what do you do when you want to take over something militarily? You take their economics, you take their ability to create wealth for themselves, their banking system, their economics. You take away their ability to eat and food and logistically get things healthy for themselves, which Flint is a food desert, the whole city.
Yes.
There are no major grocery stores in the city of Flint. Whatever you've seen that's a Walmart or whatever name brand, it's outside the city of Flint. Any major banking system you've seen that is consistent is outside the city of Flint. And what else do? You kill the water supply.
You rape it and take its power.
So if you kill all those things and you take away your logistics of economics, food, and water, and obviously you see the shelter it's got its issues too because there's no economics, there's no healthy side to what's going on. So what's that? That's the fourth Reich. That's somebody taking over something and becoming a dictator of the situation. We had an emergency manager. Where else in the country have you heard of that? An emergency manager? So you impeding my ability or impeding my vote. It's like if the government's putting in an expressway, it's eminent domain of my vote.
And he was the one that helped.
I'm not saying names
Well,
because I'm saying it is what it is. If it fits you and you get some kind of way, come see me. Come knock on my door. We'll talk about it. But it's impeding a person's right. So what does that say? That tells me that ALEC, that entity that makes a lot of rules and stuff for corporations that Congress listens to, has too much control and power. Maybe I'm ignorant to something, but I'm living in this.
So what has the governor done in the last year?
I don't know.
Has he
I don't know.
been
I stay out of that because that's like watching. For me, that's like watching Roots. Listening to politics is like watching Roots. I can't. It's like I don't know what's going on. I really don't get the gist of where things change. It's just a story of pain that leaves me feeling pain.
So has the water at one point was your water yellow?
See, my situation is that I'm living in a habitat home, so everything that's going on here is a little different because of the home that I live in. So my parents, where they are, I hadn't seen that, but I know I had the ashes skin in life taking a shower in a shower. You know, and my skin isn't dealing with that, dealing with mine. I had a full house water filtration system donated to me for moving in here. Now, I don't know how well that works either, but I'm told that it works very well. I'm not. You just don't know because you hear one thing and then you find out results happening somewhere else. But so far, it's non-detect. My thing is, my parents. I feel like we won't be able to tell anything on this water because at the height of it and what was told by the EPA and all these other organizations, we were 10 times worse than toxic waste. 10 times. Toxic waste is bad.
I know.
It's toxic waste. That means that don't even touch it. 10 times worse than that is burning a hole through the barrel that the toxic waste is in. So it's more than a notion to believe or think or to have any kind of idea that this is going to be a revolving door, because as soon as you think you fix something, we have where our infrastructure is for over 300,000 people. We have approximately 98,000 to 100,000 people living in the area. So that's 200,000 areas, locations, businesses that are sitting dormant, that the water is not flowing. If that water starts to flowing, what is that going to create? Other issues, other problems, other opportunities for disaster.
Let me ask you this here: how many deaths in the last 4 years due to the water crisis here in Flint, Michigan?
I don't know those numbers, but it's and we probably won't know the true number. I feel the elderly are getting hit the hardest. You know, Miss that or Mr. That was walking up and down the street and living life good, and all of a sudden now you sick, and then a month later you gone.
And the homeless too, right?
You know, and most definitely anytime that you're living in poverty, you're like 7 to 20 times more likely to die faster than the average person.
So, what do you want to say to the people of America who's blind to the fact of what's really going on, listening to the outside fake news that Flint is okay? George, give me some that you want to say was really happening here in your hometown, your home, where your mom raised you at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your family. Are you born and raised here?
Born and raised, drank the water.
Okay, so you got roots up in there. I mean, you like one of them solid trees out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't pull that tree up, and you can't pull your roots out. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about where your roots, where your foundation. Tell me about. Tell us. What can we do? Who can we talk to? How can we get this out that Flint is not fixed?
Keeping the narrative going, not allowing things to quiet down. Like for me, yes, I'm from Flint. I'm born and raised here, but my heart goes out to people. I went to North Dakota and was standing on line with the other veterans when I saw that people were getting shot with water cannons in the middle of winter and rubber bullets. What kind of crap is that? You know, what country is that? You know, I didn't volunteer my time and my service for that to happen here. You know, maybe I had a misconstrued viewpoint of why I joined, but I joined because of patriotism. I joined because I believe in people, not black, white, or whatever. Because yes, because I am a black male and I do deal with black male issues, I understand that my life matters and it's going to matter regardless of what anybody thinks it says. But I also understand that because I am a child under this sun that God has put on this planet, over this planet, that everybody matters. But if I ignore the plight of somebody else, greater or lesser than me in economic or whatever status, then who am I to ask for help? So my thing is saying, look at what Flint has done historically, what the people that were transients from the South, transients from all over to come to Flint, Michigan to create a middle class so people could have something to stand on and say, look, we can't allow those that saw a better future for us to just die out, because guess what? When so goes Flint, so goes the rest of the country, because the concept changes. The concept changes.
Understand?
There's no power for a middle class because there's no such beginning. Where's the beginning? You take away the beginning, and we know this as a people already. You take away your beginning, you don't have anything to follow but what people tell you.
Preach, preach, preach.
Well,
This is an American issue now. This is an American issue. So if you're comfortable living $200,000 a year, $500,000 executive level, whatever, guess what? That can be snatched away from you
oh, yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, one day.
Because what we're going through right now in politics, nobody knows what the outcome's going to be, because the game has now been turned around, shuffled up, and thrown back out there. So you tell me you got the answer for tomorrow, and I'll shut up.
I ain't got the
I'll
answer
wait.
for the next hour.
I'm not saying you specifically, but
I
whoever's
understand.
watching.
I understand. I want to thank this brother for taking his time out. He waited on me. He on this day for us to come out. We're here in Flint, Michigan on February the 10th, 2017. I was here 1 year ago. This time I brought along a couple other groups. Violence Interrupters came back, T.O. Hardiman, Kevin Works, Faith Worth Incorporated, Deborah Doxey and Charles Pitts, and myself, Clyde McLemore from Black Lives Matter, Lake County, and Carolyn Ruff from Black Lives Women of Faith. We're here today.
Matter, women of faith.
Black Lives Matter, Women of Faith.
Right.
We are here because of this issue that I believe that and George, you one of the people that got me here today. You don't know, but you are my friend on Facebook, and I've been reading your stuff. So it ain't, because when I heard you say Grundy, I was, oh yeah, I know who that is.
But
Okay.
it's important to keep this in the news. It's
Yeah,
important to
this
keep it
is
going.
Yes.
very important
Yes.
that we let it be known. And I in this interview, I said something, and it's going to be my new thing. Flint isn't fixed.
That's right.
Flint isn't fixed, and we need to get out of here. It ain't so much the water, it's the system.
That's right.
It's the system. And this was the best interview we ever had. And I thank y'all, and I thank you, bro.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Count on me through thick and thin, a friendship that will never end. When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry